Hi, my name is Jessica Humphrey, and this is my informative speech called Rise to Resistance. In 2014, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention stated that Nebraska ranked in the top 8 states for antibiotic use. This means that for every 1,000 Nebraskans, 1,000 to 1,200 antibiotic prescriptions were dosed every year. With Nebraska being a livestock state, the statistics on use in livestock is also high. In 2014, Time magazine found that 80% of all antibiotics sold in America are dispensed to meat and poultry producers. Antibiotics directly affect me in 2 specific ways. First of all, like I stated in my first speech, I have worked for the Extension Office in my county for the past 3 summers. We commonly deal with livestock, and at first the statistic that 80% of all antibiotics went to livestock surprised me. But with them constantly competing for the largest and healthiest animals, they commonly use antibiotics. Additionally, with my interest in pharmacy, I wanted to learn more about antibiotics through their history and their effects. With the way antibiotics have progressed throughout the years, something called antibiotic resistance has occurred. For starters, the history behind antibiotics in both humans and animals is unique, and it's led the path for the future. Famously known, Alexander Fleming invented the first antibiotic in 1929. This antibiotic was penicillin. At first, it was not popular at all. Environmental Health Perspectives website states that it was not popular amongst people until about the 1940s. Fleming had always been cautious about his invention. He believed that in the future, man would demand antibiotics and would dispense it in low dosages. This would expose their bodies to non-lethal quantities and leave them at risk for antibiotic resistance. As the word spread that antibiotic could cure those who were dying from bacterial infections, however, they rose in popularity quite rapidly. As time progressed, scientists and doctors came up with different circumstances that they could use antibiotics for. Some examples of these include disinfecting bites and wounds, preventing infection before surgeries, and also helping reduce the effects of chronic illnesses and diseases. Throughout time, the uses of antibiotics began to change as well. First of all, with increasing technology, advances in modern medicine could occur. Doctor and microbiologist Stuart Levy continued on Alexander Fleming's research in antibiotics. His goal, and the goal of many other doctors, is to improve medicine and make it accessible for all. Like I stated, the first antibiotic was penicillin, and this was created for humans. But as time went on, new advances made it available for other species. Like I stated at the beginning of my speech, 80% of all antibiotics sold in America go to meat and poultry producers. At this time, antibiotics are not just used for medical treatments as well. In 2015, CBS News stated that it is now common for antibiotics to be added to feed and water in livestock communities to promote growth and stop the spreading of disease. Lastly, with today's technology, scientists are able to see how antibiotics can work microscopically in the body. Also, they've been able to research something called antibiotic resistance. To begin, antibiotic resistance happens when the bacteria in the body is able to overcome the powers of the antibiotic. This lowers the effectiveness of medicine and allows the bacteria to survive in the body. A study in 2017 conducted by scientists at BMC Genomics found that when multiple antibiotics are paired together in the body, development of resistance remains elusive. In the Midwest specifically, livestock can be carriers of antibiotic resistance. In 2016, Dr. Walters from the Institute of Environmental and Sustainable Chemistry stated that when pig manure is used as fertilizer, antibiotic residues often reside. So when this manure is used as fertilizer, it can often be transferred from the plants to humans that eat that. In 2016, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention stated that animals carry bacteria in their intestine. Giving antibiotics to animals often kills most of the bacteria, but some often live on and multiply. It is important to note that when this superbug of antibiotic resistance is present in the environment, transfer can occur. In 2017, scientists at the Biomed Research International studied Campylobacteria, that is a bacterium that can cause disease in humans. At At this international research, they studied cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs, and found this bacterium in 13 to 29% of the manure they researched. With medicine constantly evolving as it is today, knowledge is important. Living in an ever interdependent world that we do today, having effective and available antibiotics may mean the difference between life and death. This is especially important because we live in the agricultural society of Nebraska. It is important that in order to stay safe for ourselves and the future generation, that we pay attention to the short and long-term effects of antibiotics, their history, and how they can use to be best benefited those around us. Thank you.